Hi guys, and welcome back to my War Games hobby channel. Believe it or not, I've just had a bout of COVID. I'm getting over it now. It was a bit like having flu, like everyone's reporting. It wasn't very nice, but the 3 or 4 days I was a bit, poorly. But now I'm on the road to recovery. So I've had plenty of time at home, and I tried something because I was getting bored with painting. I couldn't sort of concentrate and I was feeling a bit grotty. So I wanted something I could come and go and just do it when I was in the mood. So I've had a little game at home, which I like to do on occasion, I think, as you know. And the game I've been playing is Dead Man's Hand. Now, I bought this game not that long ago, really. A mate of mine, Graham, went to Warfare with me this year, and we met up with Martin there. Graham's got his own website that concentrates mainly on Saga, and I know he wanted something different. And Martin from Seventh Son met him at Warfare and persuaded him to buy Dead Man's Hand. And then because he'd bought them, I thought I would as well. And we've had only about 4 or 5 games so far. But, they've been great fun. We've really enjoyed it. It's something completely different. A breath of fresh air, really. And so I've just started a little solo game here as I'm sort of isolating until I come up negative. And it's been great fun. Now, I have got some of the gangs that you can use. I've got the Law and I've got the Outlaws. And what I haven't got is I haven't got a great deal of terrain. Because ideally, to play Dead Man's Hand, you need a sort of western town. I have bought the church, which they do from Foreground, which is really good. And the reason I bought that is because I can use it for American Civil War again anyway. I've now got a graveyard as well. I've got a couple of western type buildings, but they're not really town buildings. And what I've done is I've converted them so that they can be used as a town. Graham has bought about 5 or 6 buildings now, so he's slowly building them up. And we have got a couple of other friends, Dom from Boots on the Table. He's got a load of western type buildings we can use, and we've had some games with him. And as I say, every game we've played, we've really enjoyed them. They're a good fun set of rules. But what I noticed on their website now, you can download different scenarios. And the one I've downloaded is this Ride with the Devil. Now, what that is, it's basically bushwhackers and jayhawkers. The bushwhackers were the Rebs in the American Civil War, and the jayhawkers were Union troops. In fact, if I read what it says on the western frontier of Missouri in the American Civil War was not just fought by armies, but by just local neighbours. Informal gangs of local southern bushwhackers fought a bloody and desperate guerrilla war against the occupying Union Army and pro-Union jayhawkers. And that's what this is. And it looks really good fun, so I thought I'd give it a go. And here is the game that I've set up. Now, why I wanted to do this was because, different to the towns, it's actually fought over a little farmstead. So you don't need as many buildings anyway. And I've already got some American that sort of period. Well, they actually were made, they're ideal for the American War independence, but those types of buildings were still around, still being used in America, although more to the north, and certainly in these southern states, probably not so common, but they'll do for what I want to do. And it suggests for this scenario you want 2 buildings, and maybe a 3rd building or barn, which I've got here, and then an animal pen, and I've got a nice little pigsty or a fenced off area for pigs. You need a wagon as well. So this is where all this campaign takes part. Now, I'm not going to go through the rules. If you want to know how to play Dead Man's Hand, then go to the website of Seventh Son, because Martin does a really good job at explaining how to play the rules. and I couldn't do anywhere near as good a job as he's done, so no point in repeating it. So if you want to learn to play the rules, go to Seventh Son, the link I'll put down below, and have a look. But with this scenario, the Ride with the Devil scenario, the figures are using muskets. Well, some of them are. In fact, it suggests here that at least half the figures have pistols, but because I'm using some of my American Civil War figures, which I've got plenty of in various boxes. There we are. These are just give you an idea of the sort of the figures I want to use. I've already got them, so I decided I would in fact use it, change the sheet slightly, that in fact most of them are musket armed. That's just my choice. I just wanted to see how it goes. I've got the figures and I want them armed with what they look like they're armed with rather than pistols. So that's the only change I've done. Now, the cards that you use, the Bushwhackers use the red sets of cards, and in the first scenario you just need either diamonds or hearts. And then there's specific cards that go with those, which you can order from Great Escape Games. In fact, I ordered mine one day, and 2 days later they turned up, so it was a really quick turnaround. Incidentally, I also ordered some more of these things here because I was always running short of them, so I ordered a pack of those as well. Right, so when you've got them, these are the specific cards for the Bushwhackers, as you can see. And then likewise, the specific cards for the Jayhawkers are black. So they use the black cards, which are either spades or clubs. All that sort of explained on more detail in the rule book, and also if you watch Martin's video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So the first scenario I did was very quick, because no sooner had both sides brought on their two mounted figures, and the Rebs or the Bushwhackers dismounted and opened fire and missed, and then the Union guy dismounted, aimed and fired, and killed one of the Bushwhackers with the first shot. So that was that scenario finished. It didn't take long at all. So I'm now doing scenario 2, which is called Ambush. There we are. This is the ambush scenario. And what it was there was that the Bushwhackers have two groups. The first is a sergeant with 3 guerrillas, and then the second is a guerrilla with 2 ruffians. So, and they were they're coming in over this side, because the Jayhawkers have a sergeant armed with a pistol. Well, in fact, I've got him here. I've given him a rifle as well, and 4 guerrillas. It does say 2 with pistols and 2 with muskets, but all mine are with muskets. So I say I'm just changing that rule because I haven't got any Union or Confederate figures with holding pistols, sadly. So the Union all had to be situated protecting this wagon. So I had 2 here, 2 there, and another guy. There we are, near that building. And that's where the Union started off. With the Rebs, I had 3 coming here. This is the second group. And the group that had 4 came in behind this building. Now you can see I've already lost 2 of the Rebs. The Union guys are shooting really, really well. And I'm just about to do the next move. So I just thought I'd show you this, because I'm not going to show you the whole game, but I just thought I would show you how easy it is to set up a little game. You just download this new campaign called Ride with the Devil, and as long as you could get away with the normal specific cards, but I have ordered the ones from Great Escape Games. They weren't much anyway, so I just went with it. And we've got it's a completely different game. It's not in a town, where normally you play Dead Man's Hand. It's in a sort of a farmstead, which makes a nice change. So I'm going to do the next moves just to let you know how I get on. At the moment, basically, what's going to happen is that the Union or the Jayhawkers are defending this wagon, and the Bushwhackers or the Rebs are trying to capture it. And at the moment, they're not doing very well. The Jayhawkers are winning. So there we go. So I'll have a few more moves, and I'll come back and let you know what's happened. Okay, so I did the next couple of moves. It was all pretty dramatic in the end. The bushwhackers decided that they were 2 down and they would be a bit more aggressive. So the guy that was here and coming along here to this Jayhawker who was just in this area here decided to go into close combat. Likewise did a guy coming across here. He decided to attack this guy. The thing is with these rules is close combat is can be very effective or ineffective depending on which view you have, because it's a difference between 2 D10s, and in both cases the bushwhackers got absolutely hammered and lost 2 figures, and then they lost another one to shooting, so they've lost 5 of their 7 figures. So that's it. And as the scene ends, when any of the 3 things happen, either Jaywalkers are all out of action, which they're not, all 5 are still alive. The bushwhackers have 4 models out of action. Well, they've got 5 out of action. Or the bushwhackers can win by getting 3 or more medical supplies off the table edge. Well, they've not been able to do that. They've lost 5 of their 7 men. So that's part 2 or scene 2 of this campaign done. The Jayhawkers certainly are on the up at the moment. They won the first 2. So I'm just going to set up the final scene of Ride with the Devil. And it will be a full gang of 21 reputation. Seemingly the Jayhawkers have managed to trap a group of bushwhackers. They need to hold them in place until relief can come to wipe them out. So the bushwhackers need to break free. So I'm going to set that up, and when I set it up I'll come and show you what it looks like. The one thing I've noticed with these rules, the muskets, I quite like the idea when they shoot, they always have to have an out of ammunition marker. In other words, it takes longer to reload. So, for example, you can see here all these 3 have fired their weapon, so that the first thing they have to do before they fire again is reload. So they can, for example, this chap could reload, and he's still got 2 other actions he can do. But it does restrict, therefore, what you can do, because every single move, once you fired, you do have to spend at least 1 move, if you want to fire again, preparing the weapon, which I quite like. Okay, so I've set up the final scene of Ride with the Devil. So far, say, the Jaywalkers have won the first 2 scenarios, but it's all going to be down to this last one now as to who wins the game. Right, so you can see I'm using my lovely church. I decided we wouldn't fight over the same terrain we have been fighting over. If you read what the scenario says, both sides got 21 points. So the Jayhawkers have managed to trap a group of bushwhackers. They need to hold them in place until relief comes and they can wipe them out. The bushwhackers need to break free. Right, so I've set up the table as per the rules, and all the bushwhackers are in one building, and that's the church. You'll see if I take the top off there's a man in the steeple, and underneath here we are, the rest of the guys are in the church. Now there's a back door, as you can see, so those 3 guys could go out there and come round here, or round here. And then the leader, the boss man, is with 2 other guys near the front entrance. As I say, the other guy is in the steeple. He's armed with a rifle, sorry, a musket. The Jaywalkers, we have an officer here with 3 of his men. They've all got muskets. And then he's got a sergeant here with 2 other men. Now the bushwhackers have to leave that building and get off this table edge here, which is not going to be easy because the Jayhawkers are there doing their very best to stop them. So that's it. What I'll do is I'll take the first move and I'll let you know what happens. Would you like my little graveyard incident? It's the first time I've used those. It's yeah, I need to get some more terrain. I'm going to get some buildings so I can make up a small town. Haven't got around to it yet. Luckily, Graham, my buddy, has got about 5 now. Along with my church, we've probably got enough between us, but I'd still like to have 1 or 2 myself. But these buildings I use for the American War of Independence and French and Indian Wars, they suffice for now. In fact, when I use these, if I just take the roof off there for a minute, and as a town, I've actually put flat roofs on them if I want to use them as a sort of a town building. I know it's not a very good effort, it was just a quick job I did, because standing figures on top of these type roofs, well, it's impossible to keep sliding off. I suppose you could put a bit of blue tack on them, but it's a lot easier if I use flat roofs. And if it's in a town, then it seems to sort of work quite well. So anyway, I'm not using those today. I just showed you what I did when I want to use them in a town as a small dwelling. I've got one for the other one as well. Right, so I say I'll do these first move, get the game rolling, and I'll let you know what happens. Okay, so I've done the first move. I'll just give you a pretty good idea of what's gone on. Right, first of all, you'll notice that the 3 bushwhackers that were at the back of the church have come out here and moved all 3 moves through the graveyard. They have been shot at. These 2 guys here shot at them, and this guy's taken 2 hits, but he's okay. The fact that he moved 3 times saved him. He would have died otherwise, because they rolled well, but with -3, because he's moved 3 times, saved him. So he's a moving target, harder to hit. The chap up here still in the tower, he opened fire over here and missed. Likewise over here, this Jayhawker fired in the tower and missed. That's why he's got an out of ammo marker. Well, everyone that's fired has got an out of ammo marker. So that's it really. It's the bushwhackers have come out the church. They're going to try and get off this edge of the table if they can. And they've made the first move towards that. Early days. Right, I'll do the next move and let you know how I get on. Okay, so next move. A lot happened this move. The first thing is, a couple of the special cards that were used, where the bushwhackers use this card. Play at the beginning of the turn. All bushwhackers pass their nerve tests automatically for the remainder of the turn. So that was really useful for them. And then the Jayhawkers used this one, which is play at any time. All enemy shots are -1 to hit for the remainder of the turn. So again, really useful for them. So a few bodies lying around. As you can see, there's 1 bushwhacker was shot going by these 2 guys. One of them wounded him first, and then the other one finished him off. And there's a guy over there dead. He charged actually. He got shot at, and he was okay with that, and he charged in. And the bushwhackers don't seem to be doing very good when we get into hand-to-hand combat. He lost that badly, so he died. But the bad news for the Jayhawkers is that they lost their officer. He got shot from the man in the tower. Bit unlucky, but he did. He just rolled really well, and he aimed twice and shot, and managed to shot and managed to kill the officer. So 2 losses for the bushwhackers and 1 for the Jayhawkers, but their boss is gone, which is really bad news. Right, so we'll do the next moves. Everybody else shot, and nothing much else happened. There's a few people obviously having to reload now. This guy's got 2 wounds here. The guy in the tower's got 2 wounds as well now, because he's been shot at by this guy over here and this chap behind the tree, and they've got 1 hit on him each time. But each time he could have lost the second one, but because of that card that was used, he didn't have to roll for it, so he survived. Right, I'll do another move and report back what happens. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the bushwhackers officer ran into that little building there. So he moved from over here. he had a wound. He moved over there to get into this, so we can actually hopefully be able to get this guy next time, or go around here. But I mean, that's a bit dangerous doing that if he gets shot. Right, a card being played by the Jayhawkers is this one, a really powerful card. Play at the beginning of this turn. For this turn, Jayhawkers don't suffer any penalties to shooting caused by cover or any enemy move actions. So that's going to be really, really useful. So they hope to do quite well this turn. Okay, so the next move, and the most important thing, was the guy in the tower got shot. He got shot at twice, and the second time he died. And the officer came out of the building there and attacked the man here, and he killed him. So it's even Stevens that round. They both lost 1 figure each. Right, next move. You can see what happened here with the melee, and finally the Bushwhackers won it. They actually finally won a melee. So now it's 3 losses each. It's getting very tight. The Bushwhackers are starting to win. The officer charged over there and managed to kill that guy. Over here, this chap's got 3 wounds at the moment, and the other one over there's got 2. Yeah, the one over here next to him hasn't got any yet. But at the moment, I would say the Bushwhackers are in an advantaged position. Right, next move. So it's all over, game over. The officer here was here. He managed to kill the guy who was fighting. He's come round here. The chap behind the wagon was coming around to outflank these 2. They're the only 2 left now, and I've just done a test for them, a courage test, which they failed. So there's only 2 men left. They're running away. So the 4 Bushwhackers that are remaining will get off the table, this edge, and they won the game. Having won the first 2 parts of this campaign, scenario 1 and 2, they've managed to win the 3rd one. It all started when they managed to kill the enemy officer here, yeah, they managed to. I thought they were going to find it difficult to get off that table because there wasn't a lot of cover. I purposely kept it fairly open. I haven't got much more sort of terrain I can put down anyway, but I thought it was enough. But no, these 2 guys kept shooting. They weren't going to go anywhere, and they weren't doing enough damage. They weren't getting enough hits on these guys running. Managed to kill one of them in the end, but the rest of their buddies got wiped out. And the officer over there was a real loss. When this officer here came round here and attacked 2 men there and killed them both, that was a turning point. So having a pistol and a sword means that at close range the pistol is really effective, or point blank range should I say, and with the sword in combat, if the other player rolls well, you can get them to re-roll, so that's really useful. So yeah, it was a very enjoyable game. I do like it. This Ride with the Devil is a nice little campaign or scenario they've put together there. As I say, I've changed it slightly. I gave all of my figures except the officers' muskets, which may have been a bit ambitious, only because that's the figures that they're the figures I have are equipped with muskets, and it didn't make any difference. That's just my choice, and it was a nice little campaign I've played over the last couple of days, and I really enjoyed it. It's nice that in fact Great Escape Games are thinking of branching out, doing things like this. This is the first one I've seen. Yeah, in fact they do another one. It's called The Stranger, and this has got again the same sort of idea. You've got opening scene, then we've got the second scene, a welcoming party, and the final scene, a reckoning. So that looks good fun as well. This is mainly, from what I can gather, it's citizens. So you've only got the Stranger, and then you've got upstanding citizens, which are reasonably good, and then 0 to 6 other citizens, which aren't that good. I haven't read this yet, but that's the second scenario that they're doing as a free download. And I've ordered the cards, as I say, and I got the Stranger cards with the ones I just ordered as well. They all came as one pack. So I'll be doing that one again at some point. I'll report back, let you know how it goes. But this was fun. I enjoyed it. And it just makes a change for fighting in a big town, that it's a little bit more spread out. And it works. Right. So I'll see you again soon, guys.